Super. Boom. Oh, okay, yeah, I got it. Peace, family, peace, peace, peace. All right. Make sure y'all share, y'all. Before y'all do anything, make sure you share. Okay. Make sure you share this live. All right. We talked about a little bit of things about immigration yesterday. Was it yesterday? Did I go live yesterday? Day before yesterday. One of those days. But we talked about the issues that are going on in LA right now, dealing with immigration. All right, so we definitely have to talk about that because we definitely want to help 10 families. We want to pick 10 families to help totally for free. All right, we already have 4 families selected from our Facebook followers. All right, so on this live tonight, all right, we want to go ahead and let folks know we are going to help 10 families dealing with immigration paperwork issues. All right. So it's 10 families that are literally dealing with some type of deportation threats. All right. Because at the end of the day, family, we cannot be moving with emotion. We have to move with logic and have a business sense. All right. When it comes to things like this. All right. I know a lot of people is having emotion saying, why are these hard workers being deported? All right. I was saying the same thing. Half of me understands what y'all are saying, but the other half of me also understand that it is a business. All right. Same thing as business. All right. So when you understand it's not about your friends being deported. Yes, they was good. They've been here since 2000. All right. But you have to understand, family, there is a way of doing things. All right. If there is a deadline allocated to you, you have to meet those deadlines. The problem is a lot of these families are well past their deadline. Okay. Now, to each his own, for whatever the reason is, whatever the excuse is, because at the end of the day, family, it is looked at as an excuse if your paperwork is not perfected. All right. It's no different between when we're trying to, exercise our rights to a security interest on a mortgage or a car. All right. Meaning you have to file your paperwork correctly. You can't half do it. You can't go past deadlines and think you're not going to get a default judgment made on you. All right. So a lot of these families right now that are dealing with family members being deported back again, these people aren't bad people. All right. I don't want the narrative to be we're deporting bad people. All right. We know they're not bad people. All right. The problem is their paperwork isn't correct. Now, we can go down the list of things of why you feel like it shouldn't matter if they're legal or not legal because you feel like everyone here is illegal. All right. Again, all that is emotion, family. You have to be logical when it comes down to it. All right. And at the end of the day, the reason why these families are getting deported is not because they aren't paying taxes or they are paying taxes. It has nothing to do with that. All right. It has all to do with their paperwork not being completed. All right. All the families was given a deadline and 99.9% of these families are literally well past their deadline. All right. Now, the Democrats didn't really care. All right. About this. I see that George Bush, the very first George Bush Sr., not George Bush Jr. All right. I seen the clip where George Bush Sr. was talking about this as well. All right. But it seems to me that the only ones that are really pushing the effort towards it is the Republicans. Now, again, I'm not a Republican or Democrat. All right. I don't vote. All right. But I do understand what's going on at the end of the day. All right. And I do understand that the Republicans are more safety minded when it comes to borders, when it comes to immigration. And I definitely understand why, because again, you can't just have all kinds of people here that's undocumented. All right. Now, again, you might be great. All right. You might be a great person. I'm talking about everybody knows. I'm talking about you're great. You've been making money. You got your family house. All right. I get that, but you're not completing your immigration paperwork. All right. It's like doing everything. Yes, you did everything, but you didn't do it with the proper authorization. Now, again, we can get into everybody here is illegal. White people are illegal. African Americans are slaves. We can get into all that, family, but that is not the discussion at hand. And that's why I try to tell people, if you lead with emotions, you're going to go down the emotional conversation, and the emotional conversation is nowhere near the solution. The solution is for each and every family, even if they're deported right now. Let's say they, oh snap, hold on right quick, y'all. All right, let's say they got deported. All right, let's say they got deported and they wanted to come back. All right, because a lot of people think just because they got deported means they can never come back. No, family, they're getting deported until they get their paperwork together. All right, and that's why I want to go ahead and select 10 families to help totally for free. All right, I want to help totally for free. Okay, why am I helping for free these first 10 families? Because I've never did this before. All right, this is something I feel like I want to come out and help the people with. All right, I don't see anyone else doing it. I understand that Lori is charged an arm and a leg. All right, now this isn't just for, those that's going to Mexico. All right, this also deals with Haitians, Jamaicans that don't have their paperwork together. I have an uncle that got deported. I want to say I was like 7. I got an uncle that got deported, and I was like 7, got deported back to Jamaica. And, the family kept it hush, hush. I really didn't understand why. I just remember they were saying, yeah, your uncle just got deported. I'm like, what? What do you mean? So we got to go see him somewhere in Jamaica. All right, but seeing that is not just about being Mexican, family. All right, it's not just about being from a certain place. This is for all immigrants. All right, if you want to be here, you have to have your paperwork correct. Now, why is it a big deal to have your paperwork correct? Because you got to understand, United States is a corporation, family. A corporation is meant to do business. So if you're here undocumented, you're not doing business the same way everybody is structured to do business. Everyone here has a birth certificate or some type of social. And when they do consumer credit transactions, they use those socials when they do business. All right. Now, if you don't have a valid social or a valid estate that you're using, all right, you're not playing the game how it's meant to be played. Yes, I understand you've been doing things quite a few times, all right, for a long time, but that's not how it's supposed to be going on. So there has been people that's been literally letting you do what you've been doing, all right? So you have to ask yourself, when was the crackdown supposed to come? All right, because if you really sit down with these families that are getting deported, if you really sit down with them and ask them, hey, have you completed your paperwork? What do y'all think they're going to say? They're going to give you a bunch of reasons why they didn't complete it, or, well, I just didn't have time. Well, ma'am, it's been 15 years. It's been 20 years. All right, y'all have to think about now, great. That family probably are good-hearted people. But again, their paperwork isn't together. Now, let's go to a family that probably aren't good people, that probably are agents that have been sent here. A lot of y'all are too much into your fairy world, Sesame Street, Barney. We should love everyone, because you don't have an understanding that is the easiest way to be invaded, to be infiltrated. All right, literally send an immigrant in there. All right, literally give them an agenda, send them to college, let them go to college for X amount of years. They get degrees. Now they have certain understanding of how United States systems work. And then they go back home and tell exactly who sent them. Do y'all not understand that's what happens? So while you looking at these LA riots and thinking to yourself, oh my God, this is so wrong. United States is wrong. You're not thinking about the United States safety. All right. And again, it don't have nothing to do with you saying, well, we're all illegal. So you're basically saying you're okay with just allowing anyone here undocumented. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as they have whatever you feel they should have. All right. And we shouldn't think about anything. If we followed y'all advice, there would be no United States. There would be no America. There would be no nothing. All right. Following y'all. And that's why I say you can't really lead with emotion. You have to lead with logic. All right. The logic is their paperwork isn't together. All right. And if you really want to help someone, you need to help these people get their paperwork together. OK, think about it. All right. It's no different from these people that are not claiming their estates. And I hope, and man, I don't know where they would send people, but just imagine if they rounded everybody up for not claiming their estate. I mean, let's say they rounded up all the dead people. Meaning the dead people that's walking around here that's not claiming their estate. You are no different than the undocumented people that are being deported. All right. So what y'all are seeing right now is almost like a preview of what could happen if they was to round everybody up that is over the age of 25 that have not claimed their estates. Now, why is it the age of 25? All right. Because at the age of 18, you are the age of majority. All right. Age of 18 is bigger than being able to smoke cigarettes and have sex, buy condoms and things like that. It's way bigger than that. As soon as you turn 18 years old, you're supposed to be taking over your executor, administer duties over your estate. Everyone that has a birth certificate also has an estate. And when you turn 18, you're supposed to be basically take over the affairs of the estate. All right. So the government gives you 7 years to claim your estate from the age of 18 to the age of 25. That's 7 years. Now, I know some of y'all have heard that before, but you probably heard in the way of this. After 7 years, a debt falls off. All right. If you've ever heard that before, you probably only heard half truth of that, meaning a debt falls off in 7 years. No, it's bigger than that, family. After 7 years and you don't say anything, you are literally counted as naturally dead. And that is in the Cestui Que Vie Act Part 2. All right. The Cestui Que Vie Act has 3 paragraphs, 3 parts to it. And when they talk about you being naturally dead, literally at the age of, as soon as you turn 25, if you have not claimed any of your accounts, any of the security interests on behalf of the estate, you are labeled or claimed as naturally dead by the state, family. So a lot of y'all that are watching me right now that are over the age of 25, on the books, you're dead. All right? You're undocumented. All right, so while y'all trying to help out the deportation by saying the government needs to do this, the government needs to do that, you better worry about your own estate. All right, because it's only a matter of time before things really start to kick up and things start to. All right, it's only a matter of time. And I know what I'm talking about because, again, it says it in the Cestui Que Vie Act of 1666. It literally tells you if you do not claim, if you do not do anything within 7 years, all right, the state, all right, the reversioners are going to come forth to the courts and say, hey, I'm here on behalf of Jason Smith. He hasn't said nothing for 7 years. We think he's lost at sea. We think he's naturally dead. All right. And they're going to get a verdict on your estate. All right. And until you come forth and claim it back, the state is in control of your estate. That's why the state is so wealthy, because the state holds all these estates. Soon as you are born, a corporation is created, meaning the living you is born, but also the corporation you was born at the same time simultaneously. All right. Meaning the physical baby comes out the vagina, but also the creation of the corporation is created as well. The birth certificate, that birth certificate has an EIN number or social. All right. Now, when that baby gets a certain age, that baby is supposed to use that social every time the baby does business. All right. And that's why you're using the social now every time you do business. All right. Because that was your business name. That is your corporation that you are in charge of. And you're supposed to be handling the interest on behalf of it. And if you don't say nothing from the age of 18 to the age of 25, you are counted as naturally dead. All right. So no different from these people that are being deported. They are counted as naturally dead and are being rounded up and they're being deported. OK, it's because they are not doing their performance. All right. It's the same thing we talking about contracting. If you do not do your performance, you will be evicted out of the contract. No different between deportation and immigrations. If you do not do your performance, your immigration performance, you will be evicted from these lands. It's the same thing, family. All right. So but first and foremost, you have to remove, all right, your emotions, because if you're looking at this from emotion, you're just going to be looking at things from a negative standpoint. You're probably going to look at this from a racist standpoint. I'm seeing people saying Trump is racist. He tricked all the Mexicans. Now he's sending them to Mexico. Like, y'all got to stop, man. Right? Y'all got to stop. All right. The news is literally showing y'all the worst, not giving y'all any context. These families that are getting their people deported are getting deported because they do not have their paperwork together. All right. Now, when people hear me say that, they say, how could you say such a darn thing? All right. You see, it's like straight emotion. I'm literally selling facts. They're getting deported. All right, because they do not have their documentations together. And so if you want to save them so bad, go help them get their documentations together. All right. Now, this live, we're going to talk about some of the forms that you need, all right, to get completed. All right. So give me 1 second while I pull this up right quick. All right, because I see the issue. I see the problem. Give me 1 second and pull this up. All right, and we gonna read all of this, family. All right, and I'm gonna actually give me time. Give me turnaround time. Expedited turnaround time. All right. All right, so the question I asked my premium chat GBT, I said, what is needed for an illegal immigrant to become legal? It says for an undocumented immigrant, often referred to as an illegal immigrant, to become legal in the United States, the process depends on several factors, including how they enter the country. All right, their family, relationship, work history, and if they faced any criminal or immigration violations. Here's a high-level breakdown of what's typically needed to go from undocumented to legal status. Because clearly, y'all, there's a solution. You see, do y'all not know somebody laughed at me when I told somebody, hey, there's a solution? Then I screenshotted some chat GBT information. Then, you know what I mean? People was laughing at me saying, oh, no, not that chat GBT. Bro, pulled out chat GBT. Think he know what he talking about. I said, my chat GBT is smarter than all you people put together times 10. Okay? So let's keep reading. All right? So, number one, this is how you go from undocumented to documented. It says eligibility pathway. There must be a legal path available for adjustment. Some common ones include marriage to a U.S. citizen. All right. Must be a bona fide marriage, not for immigration purposes only. All right. Meaning if you're an immigrant right now, you don't want to get deported, go hurry up and go marry somebody. All right. It says can lead to a green card even if the person entered illegally. Waiver may be needed. Now, you got to understand, family, a lot of people have came here illegally, so they don't want nothing to do with immigration. All right? These families that y'all be seeing, oh, my God, this is wrong. Oh, my God, this is wrong. You have to think to yourself, a lot of them aren't trying to be legal. All right? They're not trying to be legal. They're literally running away from the additional information that they're supposed to be providing, because a lot of them may have been here for so long, they may feel like, damn, if I go to immigration and give them any information, they may say something about me being here for so long and not saying anything. You see what I'm saying? So they'll be running away from actually doing what's necessary for them to be able to stay with authority. All right? So it says here, immediate relative petition. It says a spouse, parent, or a child of a U.S. citizen must show a qualifying family relationship. All right, DACA, deferred action for childhood arrivals, for those who entered the U.S. as children before age 16 and meet certain requirements. All right, asylum or refugee status must apply within 1 year of entry unless exceptions apply. Must show credible fear of persecution in home country. All right, meaning you have to basically show how, it's a threat back home. It may be a lot of gang violence and things like that. And you just want to show them, hey, I'm literally a refugee. If I go back, my family could be killed. All right, that's the way as well. All right, it says U visa and T visa for victims of crimes, U, or trafficking, T, who cooperate with law enforcement. All right, so if you ever been trafficked before, all right, you could literally get a visa that way. All right. Now, think about how many women and men have been trafficked. All right. And literally have escaped and came to the United States, try to make a better life. All right. And literally all they had to do was tell their case. What happened? Hey, man, I was trafficked, man. I can't go back, man. You see what I'm saying? Like literally. All right. Now, think about this. Do y'all think anybody's sitting down with them and having this talk with them? No, they're living in fear. All right. And I'm not sitting here going to say I blame them. All right. Now, imagine you coming somewhere, man, you're told, hey, don't get caught. Just keep your nose down. Just get you a job, get you a fake identity, keep your nose down, have a family. Because there are a lot of ones that have lived that life, literally have been here for so long, have had any issues, have been living under a different identification, have committed no crimes, all right? But the whole time, they could have simply just became legal if they would have just told their story. All right, so it says special immigrant juvenile status for minor abuses. No, it says for minors abused. It says neglected or abandoned by parents. Now, I used to work in a reservation back in, I want to say 2015 or was it 2017? Between 2015 and 2017. All right, I worked at an immigration. I remember women coming there and literally dropping their kids off. Like literally babies, dropping them off. Mamas literally going back to their country. And I'm like, yo, this is wild. Because they understood dropping their kids off, their kids would get their paperwork done for them. All right. Literally, they will have their visa. All right. They will have citizenship just by being a minor. Literally, they are doing that. Just so imagine putting yourself in their shoes. All right. Imagine you going to a different country just to drop your baby off, your kids off. All right. And you knowing you about to get shipped back. All right. And you praying and hoping that your kids make it through the system, get of age, and be able to bring you over. All right. Now, again, I'm not blaming these families for doing what they're doing. They're doing what they feel is best. All right. I'm here to bring awareness because there's a right way to do it. All right. I'm not blaming. I'm not saying they can't come over here. It's just you have to have your paperwork together. All right. And that's why we're going over this now. All right, it says military service or family parole in place. Certain family members of active duty or former military personnel. All right, so if any of y'all have any family that are illegals and you're in the military, all right, you can use that to their benefit. All right, it says cancellation of removal must be in removal proceedings. Show 10 years of residence, good morale, character, and extreme hardship to U.S. citizen or LPR family members. Meaning if you've been over here for longer than 10 years, all right, you supposed to come forth, all right, and let them know, hey, I've been here longer than 10 years. Let me show you my residence. Let me show you my good moral character. Let me show you my hard work. I don't have any crimes. I haven't done anything. All right, literally. All right, you basically are rewarded for your good faith. All right, so for y'all that are saying, why are they getting deported? It's because they're not coming forth and letting the immigration know, like, hey, y'all done been over here for longer than 10 years. Hey, listen, and I haven't done anything wrong. All right, now I know I came over here illegally, but I just showed you I've been here for 10 years, no crimes. I've been able to build a family. I got a job. I do things for my community. All right, they want to hear things like that, so you can get that stamp. All right, but imagine doing all of that and not letting them know. All right, because if they find out that you've been here, by the time they come get you, you're going to be saying things like, no, wait, no. You're going to be too emotional to even really be able to explain the requirements. All right. So it says documents, proofs required. It says these vary depending on the path, but generally include valid identification, a passport, a birth certificate, proof of entry, even if without inspection. Right? Proof of relationship, marriage certificates, birth certificates for U.S. children, affidavit of support, which is a Form I-864, showing someone can financially sponsor them. All right. When I used to work at the reservation, I believe it was like $10,000 per head to sponsor an immigrant if you wanted to get them out. All right. Meaning it will only be women and children. They had 90 days to find a sponsor, or they had 90 days to be claimed, or 90 days to get their paperwork together. All right. If those 90 days went up, two of the things would happen. They will either get deported back to where they came from, or if they found a sponsor, they'll get basically their citizenship and they could basically, leave the reservation. All right. So it says medical examination, Form I-693. All right, meaning you got to go through a medical examination. You can't just come over here, no medical examination. We don't know what you have. All right, y'all don't be thinking about things like that. Now, imagine if I was a country and I didn't like the United States. I'm going to fill up about 1,000 people up with a sickness and send them to the United States. Literally. All right, I know that's what y'all not thinking about that. You don't understand how COVID came about, because if you did, y'all would be agreeing with a lot of these deportations. All right, I'm definitely here to say that. All right, if you actually understood how COVID got here, you will understand why Trump said make America great again. You understand why they're trying to shut the borders down. And shutting the borders down isn't about building a physical wall. All right, that is code talk for a security shutdown. All right, build the wall. That is security conversation, family. That is security codes, okay? It's not about a real damn wall, all right? It's about understanding we're going to start shutting the borders down. We're going to start cutting down on all these undocumented people because we don't know if they're good or bad. So since we don't know, we're just going to deport all of them. That's how they're looking at it. And I don't blame them for looking at it because, again, I'm an American, all right? And my thing is, I don't want just anybody here if you're not here correctly because, again, you might... You know what I'm saying? You might put us all at risk. It's not about just being a good person. Like, you got to go through certain things. All right. That medical examination is a form is called a form I-693. All right. You got to go through fingerprints and a background check. All right. Y'all know how many people done been here, committed a crime, got deported, and came back? Okay. I got an uncle that had a sister that got into a car wreck, literally hitting drunk driver. It was an immigrant, illegal immigrant, drunk driver, killed his sister. This when I was young. And I believe the only thing that happened to the guy, man, he got deported. All right. And to me personally, I think he just got deported. And then because he wasn't even supposed to be here, he had no paperwork and nothing like that. Okay. Drunk driving. Okay. And somebody's life was taken because of that. All right. A lot of y'all don't be thinking about that. Like, imagine not being documented and then committing a crime. The worst thing that happen to you is you get sent back home. And all you got to do, as soon as you get sent back home, they drop you at the embassy. All right. And then you get out. You free. You can literally start making your way back. Y'all don't think about that, though. And that's why you're not in charge of nothing. Okay. So it says waiver applications if there are grounds of inadmissibility. All right. There's a form I-601. Or a form I-212. All right, these are waivers. All right, number 3, forms to file. Example, marriage base. Here's are the forms. Form I-130, petition for alien relative. All right, I-485, adjustment of status. I-675, work authorization. I-131, advanced parole for travel. I-601A, provisional waiver if unlawful presence is an issue. All right. Now, as you see, these are a lot of forms. Now, imagine not being, you really don't understand legalese. Imagine really not understand how the laws ran. All right. You're going to see all this and get overwhelmed, right? Americans can see this and get overwhelmed. Like, what's all this? I-130, I-485, I got to fill out I-76. Now, imagine them just giving you a huge ass pamphlet of books of this pages of this thick. All right, handing you that and say, oh, fill this out. You're going to get that. Remember, you don't speak English. You're trying to look at like now you need an interpreter. An interpreter. All right, now you need somebody to go over it for you. Now you need to find a lawyer. Now you got to remember the lawyer's cost. All right, so a lot of these families literally just say, you know what, let's just, test our luck. Let's just, get fake IDs or let's just lay low. Let's just, they said we got 60 days to complete this document. Let's just, not say anything. Catch us if you can. Right? So it says waiver of admissibility. Most undocumented people will trigger a ban 3 to 10 years when they leave the U.S. unless they get a waiver. All right. And again, that waiver is, where that waiver at? I-601A. All right. It says must show extreme hardship to a U.S. citizen or LPR spouse or parent. Requires a personal statement, evidence of a hardship, and supporting documents. All right. Timeline. This takes 6 months to 2 years for many adjustment cases. Can take longer if court proceedings or waivers are involved. All right. So again, 6 months to 2 years. Now, what's the difference between getting it done in 6 months and getting it done in 2 years? For all those that's been following the page, you understand how courts is ran. All right. What would be the difference from getting something done in 6 months and getting it done in 2 years? I would think it would take 2 years if I'm not following up. All right, if I'm not meeting my debt, or if I'm not, gathering the information that I need, if I'm not doing what I need to do, it's gonna take 2 years. All right, but if I know exactly what I need to do, it should take 6 months. All right, y'all gotta remember, you don't need an attorney. Now, of course, a lot of people get an attorney because that they feel like, naturally that's what they need. And it's not what they need. All right, the administrative process, if you understand it, it's going to take 6 months. All right, I even seen 3 to 6 months. All right, so it says legal help strongly advised. These cases are extremely sensitive. It says a licensed immigration attorney or a Department of Justice, DOJ accredited representative is highly recommended to avoid mistakes and deportation risks. All right, it's highly recommended. But again, if we understand what's going on, we don't need legal advice. All right, because sometimes that legal advice make things go even longer. All right, so it says tailored to undocumented families, just like we do everything else. All right. What we at? Expedited legalization turnaround time. All right. Marriage to U.S. citizens, adjustment of status. Meaning if you get married to a U.S. citizen, normal time is 12 to 24 months. Expedited potential 4 to 6 months with premium preparation. All right. Notes: if entered legally, expedite a 765 form, work permit, plus an I-130 and I-45 bundle. All right, so those 3 forms, I'm gonna say it again: I-765, which is a work permit, also an I-130 and an I-485 bundle. All right, those together is basically the expedited package, meaning that'll get your documentations expedited. All right, now imagine not knowing about those forms. All right, imagine not knowing about those forms. You're gonna be waiting. And that's why it's important to understand the forms, y'all. All right. And as you can see, you can kind of see what the issue is. It's not the fact that they're bad people. It's just the fact that they don't understand the forms, or they might not have the money to hire the attorneys, or, everything is just taking too long. All right. I had a lot of people mad at me saying, "Oh, you just think it's a piece of cake? My family has been waiting for 9 years for their stuff." And I'm like, damn. All right. I'm not saying that to crack jokes, nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, it should not take that long. That's unnecessary. All right. That's unacceptable. And I'm not saying that from the family. All right. Because if you're doing what you're supposed to do and the system is taking that long, that is unacceptable. All right. So it says DACA, initial or renewal. That's 3 to 10 months. It says expedited potential could take 45 to 90 days. All right. It says can expedite for job offer, medical, or urgent need. All right. U visa, victim of crime. All right. Takes 5 to 8 years. Expedited 3 to 6 month. Work permit only. All right. Bona fide determination gives work authorization early. All right. Asylum affirmative. This takes 2 to 5 years. All right. Expedited could take 180 days for EAD, 1 to 2 years for interview with pressure. All right. So with pressure, meaning follow up. Okay. Backlogs are huge, but humanitarian expedites possible. All right. Now, you already know the backlogs for immigration is probably, y'all, wrapped around the building 100 times. OK, so to be a person to sit back and waiting for them to get back to you could take years. OK, that's why it's so important to know how to fill out an affidavit, to know how to follow up, know how to reach out to the correct department, not only calling, but sending in letters. All right. It's the same ordeal when we're trying to get in touch with the financial institution that is literally dealing with our securities. It's the same ordeal. All right. So it says next, parole in place, military families, 6 to 10 months. All right. Expedited 3 to 4 months. Eligible families can adjust status after PIP approval. All right. Special immigrant juvenile. All right. This is 6 to 24 months. Expedited 90 to 180 days. Fast tracked in some states for minors. All right. And lastly, waiver and consular processing. This could take 18 to 30 months. All right. Expedition is 6 to 12 months if approved fast. All right, there's a Form I-601A. Provisional waiver is key to avoid 10-year ban. All right. So again, everyone that I'm going to be assisting with, the families I'm going to be assisting with, we're going to be doing all this. All right. We're going to be doing, all the steps and plus more. All right. We want to be able to cover all our bases. All right. And the problem is a lot of people don't understand the small details that are important. All right. Again, you might have done 70% of your immigration. Hell, you might have did 95% of your immigration paperwork. All right. If it's not completed all the way, family, you're going to get deported. All right, that's just the truth of the matter. And, all the marching in the world, all the bricks being thrown at the police, all the fists being thrown up. All right, none of that stuff matters. All right, it never mattered. All right, because if you cared enough, you will get your documentation in order. All right. All right. Now, for those that know family members that are dealing with this, all right, to be selected for our free 10 families. All right, now, what do we mean by 10 families? Meaning, like I say, it's not you, your aunties, your cousins, you, your kids, your spouse. All right, that equals one family. All right, now you could throw your mom in there as well. All right, but yeah, let's keep it. We're not doing 10 people per family. Like, it's just going to be your immediate family. All right, we're helping those family individually. All right, literally, that's when I feel like I can help humanity. For those that are over here just making a living and you love it here, all right, and you want to remain here, all right, you have to get your documentations together. All right, now how do you enter, all right, to win a selection? All right, what you have to do is DM me, all right, DM me a brief purpose letter, all right, just tell me exactly why this family needs this, tell me why this family deserves this. All right, tell me exactly what the relationship to the family is to you. All right, because with these families as well, it's not going to be just them getting their immigration status corrected. All right, they're also going to understand how to leverage security interests now that they have their documentations correct. All right, so it's going to kind of be a funnel so they can now understand, okay, now I'm legal. All right, now I don't got to go work for those pennies. All right, because whether y'all believe it or not, a lot of these undocumented immigrants that are coming over, all right, they are literally taking all the jobs. Meaning, again, I don't trip, all right, I don't care, all right, but I'm letting you know they're taking all the jobs, and these CEOs of these corporations are literally paying them under the table. All right, so imagine you working a construction job. The job is really supposed to be paying $25, $30 an hour, but you can kind of pay undocumented workers $12 an hour, $15 an hour. All right. So, of course, as a CEO of a construction company, you're not going to be worried about, trying to go find legal people and having to pay them $25 to $30. That's what the Americans is asking for, because that's what, they feel is the rightful pay. When you got some people coming over here that's undocumented and coming to these people saying, hey, I'm good with my hands. You can just give me $12, $13. I don't got nothing. You got to understand, from a business owner's perspective, they're going to choose them. That's why you're seeing ICE going to these construction companies. All right. That's why you're seeing ICE going to these warehouse companies. I remember doing contract throughout the country. All right. I remember they sent us to Chicago. We used to work at a company called they made muffins. They made all your muffins. Damn, I forgot the name of the place. But anyways, it was a food processing plant. All right. When we got there, it was so many foreigners in there, y'all. All right. They was telling, they sent us in to basically teach them how to use the machines and stuff like that. So I'm like, damn, no one in there spoke English. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? And I remember one day, y'all, ICE came, and it was so many of them running. I did not understand what the hell was going on. ICE came, and it was like, yeah, ICE is here. ICE here. I seen so many people hopping in their car. And again, this was like in 2017, 2018. No, this is like 2019. All right, when I was in Chicago. All right, now when I seen that happen, I was like, what in the world? All right, and I was wondering why the corporation, the building we was working for, their turnover rate was so high. All right, they was literally working these people 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts, 14-hour shifts. So you had some people that would quit. All right, but the only people that wasn't quitting was the immigrants. All right, so I don't know if that plant is shut down now, but I know that was a hot spot for a lot of immigrants. Okay. Now let me ask y'all another thing. Y'all remember when Obama, he brought all the Somalians? Y'all remember that when it was like a huge number of Somalians that got sent to America? Y'all remember that? All right. Now I didn't even know what a Somalian was, y'all. I did not know what Somalian. I remember moving to Seattle, Washington. All right, and I remember I was dating this Somalian, but this whole time I'm thinking that, like, I did not know they was from Africa. All right. When I heard the word Somali, I just didn't know. All right. When I went to Seattle, y'all, I seen so many Somalians. When I went to Minnesota, when I went to, St. Paul. All right. I did some work in St. Paul, Minnesota as well. All right. It was so many Somalians, y'all. Beautiful women, by the way, beautiful women. But I was just, fascinated, like, damn, like, it's like they came over here in droves. And it's like they stick together. You go to LA Fit and try to play ball, man. They play ball. They don't even let you play with them. I'm like, damn. I'm like, where y'all from? Yeah, I was like, yeah, we from Somalia. I'm like, damn, where is Somalia at? And he says it's a part of Africa. It's a country in Africa. I'm like, damn, I did not know that. All right, but just seeing how all that worked, I'm like, yo, I'm asking how they come over. I'm like, yo, y'all just came over and y'all got, like, they was telling me, like, their family business as far as they was given a stipend when they came over here. Meaning they didn't come over here with nothing. All right, meaning they came over here with nothing, but when they got here, they got something. All right, so that whole Obama administration literally cut them a check. All right, a monthly check. They have credit cards that are loaded every month. All right, the same thing with food stamps. You know how your card gets loaded every single month? All right, they get the same thing. All right, so once Trump came about, that's what he was trying to, get in line, because there's so much money that's being allocated to foreigners. And again, y'all don't care about that because you like, well, it don't bother me. Let them get their money. You don't understand that money is being pulled from what could be going into your neighborhood. Again, you're not thinking about that. All right, because you just looking at this like it's Barney. Like, well, that's not fair. Yeah, that's not. Like, what do you mean it's not fair? It definitely is fair. If you understood how long these people have been here, not even trying to correct their status as far as their citizenship, man. All right, you will see. Like, okay, I see why there's deportation. They got to get their paperwork right. Somebody said, so the Asians and the Arabians own these shops, have their papers. I don't think they do have their papers. All right. I'm going to tell you what a birdie told me, a guy from Haiti. All right. He says he'll come over to America. It's like a certain time frame that they can be here. All right. Before that time frame goes out, they leave and then send another family member. All right. Now, again, I don't know any facts on this. All right, but he was telling me they just basically swap out right before the deadline hit. All right, and then they'll be able to come back, all right, as if nothing happened. All right, and that's literally what they are literally doing. Oh, 6 months? Yeah, I know it's something like that. He was telling me he come over here, make some money real quick. He go back home, and then his cousin gets sent or his uncle gets sent or something like that. They all have the same understanding. I'm like, damn. All right, and clearly it makes sense to me because, hell, every single nail shop you go to is Chinese folks in there. And then when you understand that COVID came from China, man, that shit is scary. So all y'all women getting your nails done, getting your hair done, man, you don't know what's been put on you. You don't know what's been done. You don't know how long this agenda's been going on. You don't know if it started back in 1970, 1980, and we said, you know what, we're going to send a fluctuation of Chinese folks. We're going to take over the neighborhoods. We're going to have Chinese spots, food spots everywhere. We're going to have them take over the hair, all right? Because, in our communities, you go to the hair store, it's straight Chinese folks, all right? Straight Chinese, all right? They don't learn how to talk like us. All right, man, what? All right, and literally nobody bats an eye. Okay? So, man, y'all got to wake up, man. Like, just go into your neighborhood. Just go look at your gas station. Why isn't an American owning the gas station? Y'all ever thought about that? Y'all ever thought about that? It's not a lot of Americans that own gas stations. Why? Because a foreigner is taking that position. All right. There are so many foreigners in construction. Why is that? Because these construction companies understand that they can pay them less and get more. Y'all aren't looking at it from a business perspective. Y'all looking at it again from a Barney perspective. So when you hear the term "make America great again," we need an American in that position. We need an American in that position. Now, I understand I tell folks you're a peasant if you're working, period. All right, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the mass majority of people. These jobs are supposed to be for Americans. All right. Now, again, I'm not saying that foreigners can't come over and get work, but I definitely feel some type of way when you see more foreigners having certain positions than you see Americans. All right. I don't see an fluctuation of Americans owning gas stations. I don't see an fluctuation of Americans owning nail salons or hair shops. I don't see that. All right. Somebody say, do they penalize companies for hiring immigrants? They don't find them. You got to understand, as a corporation, I can literally make up some damn people. I can have ghost employees. And by the time I really get my reports ran, I can just say, yo, they quit. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard. That's what I'm saying, y'all. It's not hard to get around certain things, family. Like, y'all got to understand, these companies been around for years. They know how to get around certain audits. They know how to answer certain questions. They know how to make documents look a certain way. They done turned Jose into Peter. Okay? Literally. Now they got Peter on the books as Peter been here for years. Somebody said, does Americans want the work? I'm sure they will if the pay was higher. You got to remember, a lot of these jobs are supposed to be paying way higher, but they don't have to because they have immigrants taking the jobs for less. So if you got these Americans saying, I ain't doing all that work for no $20. All right, rightfully so, because the job is really $50 an hour, $100 an hour. But if you got an immigrant coming in that's from a country that doesn't have the same, opportunities, they're willing to take $8 an hour. So you got to look at yourself as an owner. Are you going to hire the $8 an hour, even though he don't have no documentation, but he's determined, he's loyal? You see what I'm saying? Or the American that's, asking for $50 an hour. Which one you gonna do? You gonna rock with this? Now you understand, worst case scenario, they're gonna get fired. You can find some more. Because all you gonna do is say as a business owner, hey, I didn't know. He gave me this. He said you could work. That's all they got to say. All right, they can just literally throw the blame on the immigrant. That's why I'm saying it's a touchy situation. Like, a lot of people thinking these Americans don't want these jobs. Shit. All right, you go see a construction job for online saying we need workers starting out at $60 an hour. All right, you gonna see a bunch of Americans. All right, but the problem is these corporations aren't paying that much. Is because they don't have to pay that much because it's about supply and demand. All right, if the demand is too high for $50 an hour, I need $40 an hour. When you got folks that'll take $7.50. Y'all ever seen the construction jobs when it's like y'all probably think they getting paid all this money? Go ask them how much they paying. They probably getting $2,000 every 2 weeks. Some of y'all might think that's good, not for construction. All right, and what do? They take that money, they take 90% of it and send it back home. Because if you ever been to Mexico or any country that the American dollar is, or United States dollar is higher, you understand that's a living. All right, you think about that. All right, think about it. I know some of y'all not thinking about that. And that's why I'm saying, when you understand when they say make America great again, you're going to start seeing these corporations having to do two of the things. All right, they're going to literally wait for people to get their documentation together, or they're going to have to hire Americans for higher pay. Y'all think why ain't I gonna say that? Y'all think illegals were the first ones to build damn houses? Y'all are really forgetting how strong we have been as Americans. All right, y'all forgetting how we built houses. All right, I hear people all the time. Who else is gonna build the house? Like, God damn, what y'all think we did before? What y'all think we did before? And that shows you, make America great again. All right, that's what the whole slogan means. Because people have lost their way. Everything you have is made from here, made from there, made from there, made from here. You got so many Chinese products in your home. All right, and don't know what is bug with nano what is it called? They got like technology when it's like, man, it's so small. It's like literally chips that you can't even see, family. All right, they literally put it into your devices. All right, because all your devices aren't coming from the United States. All right, you got to understand they're coming from other countries. All right, so you don't understand how important making America great again is. All right, you really don't understand. All right, do you understand if I took $200,000 and went to Mexico? Oh my goodness. All right, or if I took $200,000 and went to Taiwan. So imagine being from there, coming here. All right, you're not caring about no $20 an hour, no $30 an hour. What? You're happy to have a job, have some work. What? I can make $10 an hour? What? Back in my country, man, they getting paid 75 cents a day. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're not thinking like that, all right? So, and when you understand that, it's messing up the economy, all right? And that's why you have people, American citizens, not being able to afford mortgages, not being able to afford. Y'all got to remember, I know we talking in an uninformed standpoint. I don't even like talking like this, all right? But I got to meet people where they at, okay? Now, understand we're not supposed to be working anyway, all right? But we're talking about how the government is looking at it, okay? The government is looking at it as, yo, the housing market is crashing, all right? Meaning there are way more people that are renting than owning, all right? There are way more corporations that are buying houses just to rent, not even for sale, all right? A lot of folks are homeless. A lot of our Americans are homeless. A lot of Americans on the street. All right. So then now the question comes, why are they on the street? There's a lot of echoes saying there's not enough jobs or these jobs aren't paying enough. All right. They literally just raised minimum wage, about 4 years ago? You see what I'm saying? And you got to understand why minimum wage been so low, because you've literally had people looking at minimum wage as maximum wage. Imagine our minimum wage being someone's maximum wage. Like, meaning like, what? You're going to pay me $7.50 an hour? What? How many hours can I work? You know, because they'll work all day. You can only work 10 hours a day. Oh my gosh, so you mean tell me I can make 70? Now, again, all of them aren't like this. I'm just giving you an example how there are people that's like this. That say, yo, you mean tell me I can make $70 today? What? And you say I can work 7 days a week? Can I work? You say I can work 6 days? Can I work 7? Oh, by law? Okay. So 5 days, 50 hours, overtime. You said overtime is time and a half? So I'll be making $7.50 plus 14, $21. You know what that'll do for y'all got to understand that's how some people is looking like, and they're not lying. Like, literally, do you know what $7.50 an hour would do back home? They not over here like, yo, you got to give me 30 or I ain't doing it. You know, that's how Americans are. And I'm not saying Americans is wrong for feeling like that. All right? I'm just saying some people is going to take less. Okay, and as a business owner, what you gonna do? You gonna rock with the 50 an hour, the union, or some undocumented immigrants? Pay them up under the table. You paying them out your pocket. They not getting checks. All right, The boss don't even know how to speak English or speak Spanish. He has a designated person that, yo, here's the money. You go give it to all the guys. He go out there, hey, guys. They run up and straight cash. It ain't no checks. Y'all not looking at it like that. All right? And again, they're not worried about building your community. I don't see immigrants coming together and building playgrounds. All right? Literally, they taking that money and building for their families. Literally sending it back home. You might feel like that's right. As a business owner, I don't feel like that's right. All right? I don't feel like that is right. And especially you're not documented, I don't feel like that's right. All right? Me personally, again, you might say I hate people. I don't care about that. I love people. All right? I just don't think it's right. You know, you're basically undermining the economy. Do y'all not understand that's what that is? You're undermining the economy. Imagine sending all your cousins, all your uncles, aunties over here, undocumented, getting all the jobs. All right, literally now all your cousins. Now you done got now you the supervisor. Now you're only hiring your cousins and your family members. That's how you see all these construction jobs be straight Hispanics. You can't even to be American go in there. You know what I'm saying? I done lived in Dilley, Texas. I don't know if y'all know where that is. Okay? I done lived in Dilley, Texas. Does anybody know where Dilley, Texas is? Does anybody know where Dilley, Texas is? Man, because I have to say something. Because I got to speak my experience. All right? Dilley, Texas is about 25 miles out from the border of Mexico. Okay? Now, again, I'm down here for work. All right? Man, I remember trying to get a payday loan one time. I went down to the, Laredo. Yeah, it's like, I think I'm saying it wrong. I didn't say that word so long. Damn, it's like back in 2017, man. Yeah, so yeah, it's like past San Antonio. It's like an hour south of San Antonio. When I tell y'all, it's basically Mexico. Okay, it's so much of Mexico. So they flew a couple of us in, you know, melanated brothers, all right? Some of the guys had locks in their hair. Some of us had gold teeth, all right? We get off the van, literally, cars driving by, honking their horns. Da-da-da, da-da-da. We're like, what the hell is going on? And then our driver was saying, hey, they never seen God. They don't never see guys like you, like y'all around here often. And I'm like, yo, where we at? You know, I'm just worried about the job, work and stuff. I'm not really thinking about the environment because at this point I have been around the whole country. So, you know, I'm thinking in my mind like, you know, this ain't gonna be nothing. All right. But, you know, the women was loving us. But when I tell y'all them men hate us like they was some white men who hated. What? Just imagine the most racist Ku Klux Klan member. Just imagine one of them staring at you. That's the feeling that I had, y'all. I remember trying to get a payday loan. Y'all, they made me go through so many hurdles to get this payday loan, to get this $500 payday loan. All right. The women was fine. They were great. Everything was good. You know, everything was good. And then the male manager, I guess he came out and seen me. He looked at me like, no, we have to do another verification. And I'm like, no verification? I'm like, all right, cool. What else you need? We're going to need some more identification. I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, I got that. You know, show them my passport. You know, I got that. You got anything else? I'm like, I got a credit card. But yeah, we need to see the credit. I'm showing my credit. Y'all, they sent me through and remember, I'm uninformed at this time. All right, I'm uninformed at this time. All right, they put me through so many hoops, y'all. And I remember asking the woman, I said, do y'all normally do this for people? And then when she told me, no, I don't even know what we're doing right now. I said, oh my God. I said, well, I know what's going on. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, trust me, I know what's going on. It's nothing I haven't endured before. You know, I didn't want to, you know, say it out loud. It's racism. You know what I'm saying? I understand what's going on. And, you know, y'all, I did not get that payday loan. I was in there for like 2 hours. You know, they called my job. My job said, yes, he works here. All right. Yes, he worked. And y'all, they did all that just to tell me no, man. And, you know, that was the very first time I felt like true racism from, you know, because at that point, you know, I just thought only white folks was racist. Before I understood what the word racist meant. All right. I thought white folks was only prejudiced people. That's what I thought. All right. But when I was down there in Dilley, Texas, I seen some of the most nastiest people. All right, when it came to just being able to communicate, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if they think we're dumb. We don't understand body language. I don't know if they've been watching news and thinking that we all dumb. I don't know. All right. I don't know. All I do know is, you know, all of them don't just like us. All right. For sure. All right. For sure. All right. But yeah, I'm saying all to say that to say, all right, we are selecting 10 families to help, all right, dealing with any issues with their documentations. If you've been here for over 10 years and you're kind of nervous to, you know, submit some documentations or just to let immigration know, like, hey, I've been here, I've been doing good. You don't have to deport me. I'm fine. I'm great. What do I need to do to stay? All right, because a lot of time that's really what's needed to happen. It looks better for you to contact them rather than them trying to locate you. All right, at least have some type of correspondence. And if they do pick up, say, hey, I'm already in talks. Hey, no, we're already trying to figure out, hey, I got my paperwork from last week. Like, at least have that. But you got to remember, a lot of these families don't have anything. All they have to say is, hey, I'm a husband. I have kids. And it's definitely sad being picked up at your job and never seeing your kids prior to that job. Like, I know how sad that can probably feel. All right. Imagine going to work, you know, you providing for your family, and then you see an ICE bus pull up and then they corner you. Now they rounding you all up. Now they got to call your wife and say, hey, your husband's about to be deported back to a country he hasn't been in 15 years. All right. Because it's not like you're getting deported back to your home address. No, y'all, they're deporting these people. It's literally dropping them off at the embassy. All right. Literally. All right, well, whatever it's called, where you know they hold people before they transfer. All right, but that's where they're getting dropped off at, literally walking. All right, it's not like they're getting sent back to a home or like no. All right. So again, if you want to help a family, all right, or if this is a part of your experience, shoot me a DM. All right, give me a purposeful message, family. Let me know why you should be selected for our 10 families. All right. If you have a family member or a friend that you feel like deserves this gift, because we're doing it for free, they don't have to pay us nothing. All right. They are going to have to give us some information so we can kind of process the paperwork. All right. And they're going to learn exactly what's going on the whole 9 yards so that they can echo it to their family members, so they can echo it to their friends. Hey, I just got my documentation done. This is what I did. I did an I-614. I did all right. So they can basically bring awareness, because again, I do understand that a lot of illegals that are here, they would for sure get their paperwork done if they knew how to do it. I honestly feel like that's the case for a lot of them. They will honestly get their paperwork done if they understood how to do it. All right. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that everybody is bad. I know that for a fact. I've been in jail before, family. Everybody that's in jail is not bad. All right. You got people that's in there for damn trespassing. All right. So, again, just because they're, you know, folks going to jail don't make you a bad person. Just because you're getting deported doesn't make you a bad person. All right. But at the end of the day, we have to handle our business. All right. So if this is you, if you know anyone, make sure y'all send me a DM. All right, I will be giving some more information on that. This is fairly new service, family. It literally was just created this last week. All right, we just want to be able to help the cause. All right, because we do see that there is an issue, and we don't see anybody talking about a solution. And I feel like that's where my purpose is to bring solutions where there aren't any solutions. All right, well, bring a solution where, you know, the solution seems so far-fetched. All right, and that's where I come in. You know, I bring in the solution again. I'm not here to, I had somebody tell me, this sounds like a setup. Sound like you about to go set people up with ice. Like, no. Probably set them up with ice so they can get cleared. Yeah. All right. But setting them up in a non-beneficial way, not at all. All right. First 10 families are free. No more than 5 members per family. All right. So that's what, 10 times 5, that's 50 people that we're about to assist, family. We're going to do it up on our nonprofit, which is our Public Justice and Remedy Project. All right, Public Justice and Remedy Project, family. That's basically what the service will be made from. All right, now any families that want to donate anything to us, we're more than happily to taking it. But again, those first 10 families, you don't have to send us anything. All right, but you do have to assist us with, telling us the truth, being honest. All right, because again, we're not here to get you locked up. We're not here to, all right, none of that. All right, but you got to be honest with us. Let us know, hey, okay, this family has done this in the past, because if we do the paperwork and you knowing damn well your family member been beating on women, all right, or doing whatever, all right, and then the paperwork they send it in, that family member is going to hold it up for all the other family members. All right, so understand what you are trying to do. All right, I am going to need some assistance on this, family. All right, I do have 3 members that has helped me right now, but I am going to need some bilingual members. I do not have any bilingual members. I didn't think this out all the way. All right, but I am going to need some bilingual members, some assistance for this. More so, I would like some of my mentees to help me out. Any of my bilingual mentees, because that way, when you start building rapport with these families as well, it's not just going to be about immigration, but you're also going to be able to let them know, hey, I understand about security, about contracts law and trust law. You know what I'm saying? So being able to make that connection, and then after they get their immigration done, now boom, I can. Now I ain't got to work. Now I don't got to worry about making pennies. Now I don't got to worry about having a job. Now I can focus on, damn, now I'm in America. Damn, let me utilize my security interest. Let me go get a mortgage. Let me go use my EIN. Let me go. All right, literally in that order. All right, so that's what it is. All right, shoot me a DM. All right, any mentees that can speak Spanish. All right, Eric, yeah, you in my mentorship. Yeah, for sure. You can help me, family. You can definitely help me. All right. Now, again, this is what we have. If you know any family members that need this assistance, meaning they need the help getting their immigration paperwork done, all right, make sure y'all share this live. All right, and make sure you also shoot me a DM. Give me a reason why this family should get this service for them. All right, now we understand that everybody should be getting this service, but we can't help everybody, family. So we're going to start off with 10 families first, and then see how that goes, and then we'll go from there. Because, again, I've never done this before as far as for myself, all right? So, I'm still kind of learning what exactly is needed to be done when you're coming from a different country, all right? But what we do have is a premium chat GBT service. It's $200 a month, all right, and a chat GBT service that's going to give us all the documentation, how to fill them out, all right? And we're going to use that as our onboarding, all right? We're going to use that as, to fill in the information, all right? So, again, that's why we need these families to be able to give us the additional information that we need so we can properly fill out these documentations, all right? So we can properly also submit these waivers for expedition, all right? So we're not waiting 2 years, because, again, I'm not waiting 2 years for that, all right? We're going to do all we can to get the expedite, do it the fastest way possible, because, again, if a lawyer can get it done in 6 months, we should be able to get it done too, because a lawyer is damn sure not better than us. All right. So with that being said, all right, will you be helping people that can pay for your help? Yes, I'll do that. But right now, I kind of just want to work on those first 10 families first. I'm just focus on them right quick. And then a little later on, I'll kind of start opening up that service more and more. All right, but just for now, I'm just going to select those 10 families, get those 10 families under my belt, and, and then I'll kind of open it up, because this is not really a service that I ever planned on doing. All right, it's just kind of something that I've seen in my heart that I can help with. All right, and I feel like if I can help with it, I'm gonna do it best I can. All right, but again, after those 10 families, we for sure will open it up. All right, and then we'll go from there. All right, so with that being said, y'all, peace and love. All right, see y'all next time. I might go live tomorrow. You never know. All right, and for all my We the People subscribers, all right, remember, we are meeting every Sunday. All right, if you missed our class that we had yesterday because we missed Sunday, all right? You need to get the recording, all right? If you don't have the recording, if you're in my subscription, make sure you shoot us an email at the email that we told you to shoot, all right? For those that would like to join the private classes that we have each and every week on Sunday, all right, it is $88 a month. All right, you get 4 classes, meaning every Sunday at 7 o'clock, unless we reschedule. All right, you can also you'll also receive access to our private Telegram group. All right, and also you'll receive recordings for every single class that we do. All right, so you'll get all that for the price of $88. I would highly advise y'all get that. Now, I do understand I have classes like online as far as, a court class, a bundle class. All right, but if you looking at cost-wise, to get the most bang for your buck, I would definitely say join my We the People subscription. All right, so you can kind of be with a family, be with a group. All right, because again, there's no sugarcoating, there's no fugazi information. We're getting straight to it, and it's information that I guarantee you never heard before. All right, so with that being said, y'all, for the last time, peace, 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 and see y'all next time. All right.